married to an American, actually, from the South, from Arkansas. And we moved to Arkansas. My American friends often feel sorry for me when I say that, but
why is that? What's the issue for an Englishman to living in that part of the U.S. or for a foreign?
Well, I'm sure you know that the States is very polarized, and the people on the coasts who tend to be liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it, they tend to have, at best, a patronizing attitude to the people from the South and the Midwest, what they call the flyover states. I mean, their attitude is that there's really nothing to see between the coasts, so you just fly over them. And of course, well, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about Trump, but the heartland that is where Trump has got most of his support. So there's this idea that everyone in the South and the Midwest is a kind of redneck, uneducated person, and that only uneducated people will support.
So are they on the antipodes of California?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I would say they are sort of the antipodes of California and New York. Yeah. I mean, as always, these polarized ideas are oversimplified. In fact, if you live in Arkansas, you find, for a start, the cities in Arkansas are not even very conservative. I mean, Little Rock consistently votes Democrat, for example. So this idea that all Arkansans are right wing is absurd. And the town I lived in, Conway, which was a university town, was extremely liberal too.
And that is reflected in the book, in the novel, very much.
Yes.
If I think about the students and the challenges that the main character was facing, not only at work, but also I think with the wife and some neighbors and some folks all over the place. So I think that's reflected in your first-hand experience.
Yeah. And I mean, personally, I suppose because, like you, I'm a man of the people. I'm from a working class background, and I don't like it when people put down working class people, especially when they don't even know them. So I when Hillary Clinton referred to the people of the South as the deplorables, I was very shocked by that, and I thought she deserved to lose the election, although I didn't necessarily support the person who did win it. I didn't support him, actually, but I think I don't think they're deplorable. I think that the people in the South and the Midwest are rightfully angry at the fact that their needs are ignored on the coasts. And I think the solution they've come up with is the wrong one, personally. But I think it's understandable that they're in revolt, and I think until the elite understands why they're in revolt, the country will remain divided. But I don't think actually that working people in America are nearly as stupid as the elites think. I think they understand what's going on far better than they're given credit for. And I have to say, having lived among Southerners who are often, very conservative in ways that I'm not. I mean, most Southerners would be belong to, the Baptist Church, for example. Usually evangelical churches. I mean, very, very conservative people often. But I have to say that most of them are really good people, and that this idea that they're all nasty and just love their guns and love violence, it's just not true at all. Sure, they have their guns, they live in the country and they hunt, and they've grown up in a country where there was often the presence of the law was not always felt, and you often had to be able to defend your family with your own gun, and that's part of their tradition. But my feeling is that most of these people are good, decent people, actually, and it's a pity that the coastal elites don't make a much greater effort to understand them.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with your comments. They tend to be ignored. Their thoughts are not taken in consideration. They are somehow downgraded to subhumans, and that's totally wrong. They have the right to have their say. Sometimes they can come up with correct comments, or not that much informed, but doesn't matter. They must have a say, whether it makes sense or not. It's just a matter of respecting everyone's thoughts, ideas, and set of values.